Hi everyone! Now's a good time as any to do the live about the dance on Saturday. I'm in my car park at work, in my office car park, which is getting more and more full. So I may get interrupted and asked to move, but I'm hopefully not. Normally I'd go into my office to do my live, but I share my office now with my partner. And as much as that's okay, I don't want to do my lives there. I don't want to do my lives when someone's there. I like to be on my own. So how are you? How are you doing? Oh my goodness. So I've literally only just got the energy to even think about doing this. And I saw Mario, Vicky and Nora last night at Mario's class, which was just amazing to see everyone again after Saturday, because it feels like, you know, when you do something so emotional and so vulnerable, actually, you really do bond. I think that's why a lot of people really make strong bonds on retreats as well, actually. I think it's that, I told you about the retreat that I went on a few weeks ago, and when you share yourself like that with someone and a group of people, it really kind of it bonds you for life, even if you never see them again, you know. So anyway, I said that I was going to talk to you about hi Anne, how my feelings were on Saturday. Oh my goodness, I mean, it's just really strange because when did we start there? I officially started in August, so it's been like a big part of my life since August. And prior to that, my dance partner that I was originally paired with, it just kept putting me off, and it was just really hard to get a hold of. And I was like, hang on a second, it shouldn't be like this. And this year was a big sort of year personally for kind of like speaking up as well, and also trusting that instinct when you know something's not right. And it was because of that I ended up getting paired with Mario, and sort of doing this journey with Vicky and Mario together, which actually has made it so much more fun, because that meant Vicky and I have been able to help each other with our feelings, but also we've done some fundraising together. So anyway, on Saturday, oh my god, it was just so, like, it just all feels like a dream. I had such a come down, I've got to say. So from Sunday, I mean, I didn't really sleep at all. We got in about 3 o'clock, didn't really sleep. I also didn't feel like I had enough time to drink. I wanted to drink more, so I feel like that is pending. So I didn't really sleep much. So obviously that, you know, yourself, when you don't sleep very well, it really impacts your mood anyway. So part of me was like, that's okay, because this is just a bodily reaction to, you know, my emotions are not, it's not fully in the head, this is body, and that's something I want to remind yourself about. I'll come back to that anyway. Let me just start with Saturday. So we got there for about 1, picked up Vicky on the way, and we were just like beep, 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 all the way there. And sorry, Vicky picked up me, and then we got there and it was just like bang, sort of walked in, they were setting up the whole thing. It was like, oh my goodness, this is happening. Straight into hair and makeup, and it was like, oh, I'll do your hair, and it was like, oh no, I'll do my own hair. And it was like, oh, okay. So the whole thing is like, you know, obviously a letting go. There's nothing else you can do at that point. You know, you've done your dance, you're ready. Really loved getting my hair and makeup done. That was brill. What I found really interesting was, and you might like this, is everybody, the professionals and the amateurs, were just so lovely and supportive to each other, and all the people that were like running it, you know, they're really heavily invested emotionally. But there was this one person, and I'm going to try not to say male or female, because it was one of the professionals. So this one person who just, oh my goodness, just had this really negative vibe. And so it was really like, in the atmosphere in the room, there was no music, and I thought, oh, I knew I should have brought my speaker. Anyway, I'm quite sensitive to volume of sound and the type of music to make sure that, you know, it's not impacting anyone. But maybe there was some kind of selfishness there a little bit. Anyway, this person said to me, oh, do you have earphones? And I said, oh no, why? And they said, well, I don't really want to listen to your music, and I feel like you've just walked over to my table to play your music just to annoy me. okay. And this person had their own table. They had all their costumes lined out on it. If you've just joined, I'm talking about one of the professionals who's supposed to be supporting us amateurs, and it was just very much all about them. And my first reaction was just like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say to that. And this is where I find that I have two sides of my personality. So I have my roaring Leo side, which in another situation I might have kind of bit back. And then I have my pussycat side where I kind of walked off, and I felt wounded by that, and I felt hurt, and I felt, especially in such an emotionally vulnerable space where, you know, you're putting yourself out there, you've spent months doing something, and it's really nerve-wracking. And I thought, okay, what is the right choice to do here? Because there's a time to speak up. There's a time to kind of armor up, and there's, you know, to say something, and there's time to just let it go. But sometimes if you let something go, it's almost like you're bashing your own self-esteem, and you're going, oh, it's okay, I'll just let it go. But is it okay, really? Now, I ended up deciding to let it go, and the reason for that was not because I was scared, not because I was armouring up or too wounded, but because I thought I'd end up ruining my own experience if I said something. And what I found was that this person was saying things to lots of people. So it quickly became like, is this a strategy? And we were all talking about it. And I said, the problem is, it's all very well, but somebody really needs to say something, because this person's getting away with it, being like that as a person. And then there's other times when you think, well, if somebody is so not self-aware like that, is there any point? You know, is it going to make something worse? So that was a really reflective kind of process, and it also made me realize that actually it wasn't about me, and it made me feel like actually this person is just like that with everybody. And it kind of made me laugh at it a little bit more, which was a better way to deal with it, I think. However, I still do want to say something. So if I do get the opportunity again, I will, and that'll be really, really brave. I think the the bravest thing I did, I guess, was when I was asked right at the end, so did you enjoy it? And my answer was just yes. Which on the surface doesn't sound that scary thing to say, but I think you're going to get me if you're a people pleaser, and you normally would say something like, oh, I did, thank you, yes, did you? And I just thought, no, I'm just going to end it there, full stop, yes. So if you'd like me, you'll know how uncomfortable it was. And I've actually even reflected on that, going back, going, oh, that was a bit mean. But it wasn't. You reflect what somebody gives to you, and you don't have to apologise, and you don't have to be real nice to compensate for them not being nice. So that was one experience that was quite interesting to observe. Then, what we did was we walked onto the big stage in the beginning, and this is hours later. So the guests got there about 6. This was about 8:35, and we went on, and we kind of had to do a very show busy, like, hello, hello, hello to the audience, which I just found so cringe. And I was like, you're playing a role, you're acting, you're playing a role. So we were like, da, 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 you know, I didn't have my glasses on anyway, so I couldn't see anybody, which actually helped. Then so we kind of stood there and we did the whole you know, that cringe bit like that. Well, and I was the second person to walk on, so I was doing that for a really long time. And then we left, bye everyone. And then I thought I had more time, so I was like, went upstairs and I was like just getting ready, but they brought everybody straight back on, and I was the third dance, and I was like, shit, I need a wee. So I'm like constrained by corsets and bum spanks, belly spanks, boob and back spanks, you know, like fully like, and I'm like, I actually need the toilet. Mario was like, you don't need the toilet. I was like, I do. So I quickly ran to the toilet, got myself a little bit nervous, I guess. And then we were doing the breathing together, which was great. So he was like, breathe. I was like, ah, yes, breathe. And then sort of walked on. And, you know, as soon as the music started, we've done it that many times. It just, it was Shakira, Hips Don't Lie. I do have the video, but I'm not going to share it yet because I'm going to wait for the professional video, because I think that you'll just see everything a little bit nicer. So it's like, duh, 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 and that's when it starts, you see. So we just did it, made a couple of mistakes. The judges picked that out as well, but I was really pleased because I got 4 9s. And I just felt really, really proud of myself. And then when they were giving the feedback, it was like, oh my gosh, I actually feel like I'm on TV. It was like the weirdest feeling. It's so surreal. And then my mouth was going, because it was like, I was so nervous then, sort of thinking, is the camera on me while they're giving the feedback? And am I smiling? And it was like, so that was a bit weird. And then we walked up and then we just downed a glass of bubbly, downed another one, and then obviously it started from there. But then there was always the risk of maybe having to dance again if you won. So I already knew probably not going to win, because there was a couple more 10s, and there was sometimes like the runner-up often wins when it's like entertaining, or there's been a lot of donations, and some people had like tables and tables of guests. So I just thought, you know what, no, I'm just gonna start drinking. And I didn't win. Vicky won, and it was amazing, and she was the other dancer with Mario. So it was like, it really meant a lot, because I knew what she'd gone through on her journey and her story as well, and it was like we were just like this little three, you know. But me, Nora and Vicky, we spent all day together, and Nora also got some 10s, and that was just, it was just so nice to see the results, and just all the lovely people that we met and that we'll keep in touch with. So then the partying started, but then the coach came at 2, and I was like, I need more. Anyway, we got home. The next day, as they say, it was just like this, gosh, just an emotional roller coaster. I felt so down, and we were all just messaging each other all day, because it was just like, oh, it feels so weird, it's like all over. And you know, it's all very well saying, oh, you know, just take it for it is and enjoy the moment. But do you know what it is? We can't force ourselves out of these weird states. We have to be like, just go with it. Just go with the emotions, go with the roller coaster. Let the adrenaline come out of the body. You know, look after yourself. That's all you could do. Even if you've got all these thoughts going around your head. So I've been eating a bit more, because I was trying to slim down into this dress. I've been chilling out. I've been trying to sleep, but still the adrenaline must be still pumping, because I've not been able to sleep very well. But it feels like now finally it's kind of like coming out of my system. And something that my Bezie said to me this morning was, what's nice is that, and there's something I've discovered about myself, is that I'm a dabbler. I'm a professional dabbler. And what that means is I like to have a go at a lot of things. I like to test myself out, because I was like, oh, I thought I'd be really much more into it. But, you know, I'm enjoying still doing a little bit of dancing, but I'm not a dancer. I'm not this, I'm not that. I mean, I am, but I mean, I don't want to take it up as a profession. I like to do a bit of acting, but maybe I don't want to do it as a profession. I like to run retreats, but I don't like to do them all the time. I like to dabble in so many different things, and I think my passion is dabbling in things that give me joy and having that variety. So she was saying it's almost like you've played that role. You asked yourself, can I be that person? Can I be that person in a lycra pink dress, walking on, waving and dancing in front of all those people? And yes, I can. It's possible. I did it. You know, it's not 100% who I am, but it's a part of me. It's a portion of my personality, you know. And my other friend Jane, who our kids go to forest school together, she used to be one of the teachers in the membership group. She was also saying, you like projects, and it's like, I do. And it's like, because that project's ended, and she said, we cry at the end of a book. And I'm like, oh my God, we do. You know, it's like when something comes to an end, and it's like, okay, that's fine. I just need my next project. And because I've had this big break from work, it's like, right, okay, let me now focus back on to my other joy. And that's what I like. That's what I like to do. So that whole jack of all, master of none, there's a whole other part to that. And it's, but sometimes many is better than one. And I never knew the end of that. So I'm really happy to know about that. You know, in some people know what they want to do their whole life, and they're like, you know, they follow that route and they're amazing at it. They're a specialist at it. Some people like myself are more general. And then my other friend Melody, you all know Melody, I'm sure, my retreat friend, and also very, you know, these are three of my very close friends. She reminded me of what I said the other day, which was in my sound healing when I spoke about transition. And it's one of my favourite words because it's what I call the forgotten pause. So there's action and then there's pause, but there's something in between that, and that is transition, and something that I feel if we don't acknowledge and embrace, then we are bound to burn out. And a lot of you have known that I've burnt out before. So this week has been a transition for me. It's been an emotional roller coaster, but that doesn't mean it hasn't been a transition. It's allowing that to come. It's allowing the tears to come. I went to my burlesque class on Monday because it's such an amazing atmosphere, no matter what mood I'm in. The teacher is funny. She's great. You know, it's sassy. We're all silly. And I always used to practice after that because of the mirrors. It was always burlesque class followed by practicing my samba. And I just couldn't leave the room. And even now I'm getting emotional. It's so strange. I was like, I don't want to leave. And I just cried. I cried. And Chelsea, who also runs yoga retreats, she does that class there as well, and she runs her yoga there. It's an Oswestry. And she was there, bless her, right at the end. And she just gave me hugs, and I just cried it out. I was like, you know, and it's just everything, isn't it? It's the relief. It's the fact that you did something so out of your comfort zone. It's the fact that it's the end of something, but we always move through it. We always move on. It's the waves, you know? So the next thing is coming, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I've just been dabbling on my laptop today and, you know, getting back into things and enjoying it, but not forcing it. So I'm finally sort of thinking, right, let's get Inspire Wire back flowing next year, and without overwhelming myself. This is the thing. So lots of things coming next year. I'll share that with you probably on my newsletter, and maybe some bits in here as well. But my final message to you is, you're going to have the fear. You're going to have these emotional roller coasters, but it's better than just kind of staying stagnant. It's better than not putting yourself out of the comfort zone. You know, I need a rest now. I don't want to do anything too dramatic for a little while. But until we do that, it doesn't become easier. We don't know what is our passion, our flow. Like the first time I ran a retreat, you know, was really scary. And now it's just, I flow. So how do we know unless we put ourselves out of that comfort zone? So have a think about what that is for you, what it is you really wanted to try, and check with yourself, what is holding me back, and can I do it? And let me help you get that strength to do it by sharing my stories with you. Thank you so much for listening, everybody, and watch your space for what's coming up. Lots of love, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.